Good morning, second hour. Got to talk about solving these angles. I love these problems where you've got 8 angles and I just give you one of them and you find out all the rest. Like if I tell you that angle right there is 83 degrees, you can find all the rest of these angles. So you've got your symbols indicating these two lines are parallel to each other, and then you can run all your angles. So we know this guy is 83, so your vertical angle is 83. Your corresponding angles, 83. Look at this, and that's 83. So pretty fast, you know half of them are 83. To find out the other half, you just do a 180 move. You just take 180 minus 83, and that gives you, what is that, 97. And then you've got the rest of your angles. This is 97, 97, that's 97, and that's 97. So I give you one angle, you find all the rest of them. Like over here, I can tell you this angle is 143. So if I have this angle as 143, can you find the rest of them? You're like, yeah, I can do this. So here's 143, alternating interior 143, corresponding vertical angles, boom. So you've got half of them are 143. To find the other half, you just do a 180 move. You just do 180 minus 143. And what you've got left to work with, the 37, that gets you the rest of the angles. So 37's all the way across. So solving angles, when you've got the parallel lines cut by the transversal, it's awesome. Okay, let's talk about all the different ways they classify these. So here we go, number 3. All right, let's go the same setup. I'm going to go 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now the first setup we'll talk about, let's just do corresponding angles. So if I have an angle right here, say X, the corresponding angle down here, 60 degrees. So anytime we have corresponding angles, and you're going to try to figure out your algebra setup for this, the corresponding angles are always set equal to each other. So you can set these angles equal to each other. So corresponding angles always equal to each other. So that's easy to remember. Corresponding, always equal to each other. Let's do another run of it. Okay, so same setup, 2 lines parallel, cut by a transversal. We just did corresponding. Let's do alternating interior angles. So if my X is here, my alternating angle would be jumping over. Let's say this is like 75. So alternating interior angles, they're always set equal to each other. Boom, boom. So remember this, if it's alternating interior, you can set those equal to each other. That means X can set equal to 75. All right. 5. Let's get that 4 out of the way. All right, same setup. 2 lines parallel to each other, cut by a transversal. We just did alternating interior. Let's do alternating exterior. So let's look at alternating exterior angles. So if I have an exterior angle, it'd have to be way up here. The alternating exterior angle will be way down here, alternating exterior. So let's say this is something like 104, way down there. So with alternating exterior, these also are set equal to each other. So if you have an angle up here, the alternating exterior angle down there, you can set them equal to each other. Now, corresponding, equal to each other. Alternating interior, alternating exterior, equal to each other. The one that is not is whenever you have the consecutives. All right, let's do that. Number 6. So let's go same setup, parallel lines cut by transversal. Let's talk about consecutive interior angles. So if I have an angle sitting in the interior, the one that's consecutive is going to be right here. Consecutive interior. So let's say this is something like, I don't know, 50 right there. Consecutive interior, not equal to each other. These have to add to 180. So if you're working with consecutive interior, you have to take one angle plus the other angle, set it equal to 180. They're supplementary to each other. So one angle plus the other angle equals 180. And then you can solve it from there. And you've got an answer. X is equal to 130. Okay, so corresponding, equal to each other. Alternating interior, alternating exterior, equal to each other. Consecutive is the one that's different. They have to add to 180. So when you've got consecutive, add it to 180. So what will this look like when we do this assignment? That's the ticket. What's it going to look like on the assignment? So let's do one. Same setup, parallel lines, cut by transversal. Let's have this angle right there is 115. Let's say this one is 8x plus 17. So when you get this assignment, you may have to move an angle to get one of your consecutives or your alternating or corresponding. That's the case here. Our 115, we know this is 115 also. So now we have 115 here, 8x plus 17 there, and we're looking at consecutive interior angles. So when you have consecutive interior angles, you know these add to 180. So for you to solve this, you're going to take these two angles, 115 plus 8x plus 17, and set that equal to 180. So if it's consecutive interior, the move, set them up to 180. One angle plus the other angle equals 180. Let's do a little bit of algebra here. What is that? Minus 115 minus 17. I think that's 48. Yeah. And then you've got something you can work with. You've got 8x equals 48, x equals 6, and now we're in business. We can just come back and plug this in. Now we know what we're doing. So we had our 8 times 6 plus 17. So that's going to be 48 plus 17. What is 48 plus 17? 58, 65. Boom. And then we can get all of our answers. So we know these angles are 115, 115. Here's 115, 115. 65, 65, 65, 65. So again, it's fun. You get one angle to work with, you find all the rest of them, solve for x. We're in business. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do one you got to move again. Those are a little tricky. Let's change the look of it. Let's say our parallel line's going to run this way. So there's two lines that are parallel. Cut by transversal. Let's go with this angle right there, 70 degrees. Let's put an algebra problem out here, 9x plus 2. So right now they're not something we deal with a lot. They're not like corresponding or alternating interior. So we can do this move right here. We can do a 180 minus 70, get 110. So if this is 70, we can use that angle as 110. Now we've got something we deal with all the time. I've got 110, I've got 9x plus 2. These are corresponding. If they're corresponding angles, that means we can set equal to each other. So we can do this. We can do 110 set equal to 9x plus 2. So we got corresponding angles equal to each other. What do we have here? 110 minus 2 equals 9x. And so you solve for x, feeling pretty good. You've already got your angles. Here's 70, 70, 70, 70, 110, 110, 110. So they say solve for x, get your angles. You're like, done and done. Digging these problems. All right, let's do a big algebra problem. All right, let's do a big algebra problem. I got a big one here, 9. Let's see what we got here. So we have this set up. So 2 lines parallel, cut by a third line, a transversal. Let's go 6x plus 18. Let's do 8x right there. So when you have this set up, you look and see, oh, I've got interior angles, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. They are alternating interior angles. So whenever you have alternating interior angles, we can set those equal to each other. Set equal to each other. So I can grab this one, I can set it equal to that one, and I can solve this algebra problem right here, right now. One angle set equal to the other angle works for alternating interior. Let's grab that x, subtract him over. Now we're going. We've got 18. We're just going to come back and divide that by 2. And we got our answer for x. We can take and plug that back in. 6 times 9 plus 18, 8 times 9. And hopefully when we plug it back in, they'll turn out to be the same thing because we set them equal to each other. Yeah, I think we're in business. What is this? This is going to be 54 plus 18 is 72. This is 72. Boom. And we've got it. So we've got this is 72, 72, 72, 72. We can do a 180 move. 180 minus 72 is 108. 108, 108, 108, and 108. So, algebra problems built into classifying these angles. Just always check. You're either going to set them equal to each other, or you're going to add them to 180. So just see what you've got to work with, solve for x, plug it back in. You're in business.